If you have no idea, we just got first dibs on the all-new Toyota bZ4X, Toyota's first battery electric vehicle in the Philippines. I'm Yuli Ang, and this is CarGuide.PH. Alright, normally at this point, we'll be starting off the unboxing or impressions of a car with a walk around, right? But this time, we're gonna do it differently. It's gonna be more of a driving impression because that's the thing that makes the bZ4X very different. It drives like a regular car. Other vehicles feel like they're devices with wheels. They're like, short of saying they feel more like a spaceship.
Yeah, so that's his description. For me, when a car feels like that, what I like to say personally, it feels more synthetic. So sometimes it can be a good thing when the car feels synthetic, but more often than not, especially for what I know with what other people look for, they don't like that synthetic feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. Because battery electric vehicles is still not a one-car garage solution as of yet because of the lack of a charging infrastructure. You'd want to be in a BEV that's easier to adjust to when you're shifting between maybe a hybrid or a regular combustion engine car and a BEV. The bZ4X is just that. The way everything is laid out, I mean, there's a bit of sci-fi elements here and there, but overall, you could say, and I mean this in a good way, it's like driving a RAV4. And
that's a good description,
yeah,
actually.
Yeah. And I think that is part of the appeal of the bZ4X. So we've been driving actually here on the NLEX for quite some time. We're actually heading to our first stop. And yeah, it feels like a regular car. A regular car though, with 343 horsepower, would you believe it? This car actually has the highest horsepower of any non-GR production Toyota.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so imagine that. I mean, it's an electric vehicle, but it makes the most power. I mean, 0 to 100, I have no idea, but subjectively, it feels fast. We've been overtaking cars left and right here on the NLEX. Effortlessly, yeah. And take note, this car came straight from the factory. It came straight from the port to a dealership where we drove off from, and Toyota didn't tinker with it or adjust anything with it. This is like as stock as you can get.
As a passenger point of view, it actually feels more on the premium side when it comes to NVH levels and comfort. It can pull,
It can pull.
You did mention the RAV4. I actually like the interior, follows that RAV4S design where it's very angular, very masculine. There's not saying off-road, but it's more of like, it looks tough.
Yes. Again, I think that's part of the appeal. Normally, EVs are going to be the spaceship thing, even if it's like an SUV. This one, no, you're right. It's like a well-wearing interior, nice chunky button steering wheel, the window switches and all that. So very easy to learn and understand. You can't get it yet at like the 75 Toyota dealerships, but there are a handful which offers the bZ4X for sale. So if you have a chance to actually check it out, you can. And best of all, if you find yourself near those Toyota dealerships, they actually offer free charging, either AC or DC charging. So how's that for convenience? You don't have to pay a cent to actually keep your bZ4X topped up.
Yeah, and with the quick charging, you can do it in minutes.
That's true. And okay, first impressions, 343 horsepower. I think for me, subjectively, it doesn't feel all that punchy. But then again, you're right in mentioning that the torque is only 338 Newton meters. So I guess at this point in time, power doesn't really matter. What's more important is that you feel confident behind the wheel, and the bZ4X delivers that experience. And again, it drives like a regular car, so it doesn't, the throttle isn't that sensitive. So it's easy to modulate that. The brakes also feel very natural.
That's a good.
Yeah, it feels very natural. I mean, there's a good amount
at the startup, like
I mean, even one of the bigger issues with EVs is that the brakes tend to feel artificial because they have to recapture the power as much as possible and put it back in the battery, right? But this one, it does fairly well in giving a very linear feel. And I reset the gauge cluster earlier after we left North EDSA, and so far we're doing 14.4 kilowatt hour per 100 km. There's gonna be a super somewhere here to tell you what's that. So it'll be Nix's job, but so far I think it's fairly efficient.
Yeah.
So now that you have my driving impressions of the bZ4X, let's take a walk around and see what sort of exterior and interior features it has. Well, first of all, this is it, the bZ4X that's been refreshed. So basically, the Philippines would get the latest model that's available in the global market. You would see it, for example, with the things like the hammerhead design. This is something we've seen in the Camry and the Prius internationally, and at least for the bZ4X, it also gets it here. LED headlights are standard, LED DRLs as well. One interesting take is that for the Philippine market, there are 4 colors available and all of them have a two-tone finish. That would mean a black roof and a body color right here. This one is in white. You do have to pay a bit of extra for the white and also in the precious metal. You've seen it also in the video which we took. Other colors would be emotional red. Again, that one has a bit of an extra, and deep blue, or like a shade of dark blue, and that one is the 2.699 million car. Compared to the previous bZ4X would have the gloss black accents. Before, this was just a material black, so that's actually an upgrade. You also get the 20-inch alloy wheels with a 235/50 R20 tire, so that's actually pretty aggressive for an SUV of this size. Other interesting exterior features would have the twin roof spoiler. That's, I think, one of the more unique features that you find in the bZ4X. Now that you've seen how the exterior looks, and it actually looks pretty awesome, I'll step inside to show you the interior. Typical EVs would have this sci-fi futuristic interior, but not so with the bZ4X, and I think that is intentional. Why? Because the bZ4X gives off an interior that's unique yet familiar at the same time. For those who are very familiar with the Toyota layout, you can get the same sort of buttons. There are a lot of hard buttons right here. So there is a large center screen right here with navigation and all those infotainment functionalities that you would expect from a high-tech car, wireless Apple CarPlay and all that. But Toyota managed to keep a lot of these stalks and buttons. So if you like buttons, you'll be happy that Toyota kept them. For example, there is the Eco mode, the X mode. Of course, if you're familiar with Subaru, that's where it came from, which again, the bZ4X shares its underpinnings with a Subaru vehicle. That aside, you have also a lot of buttons right here in the steering wheel, and buttons, buttons, buttons. It's something I like because if you are familiar with the Toyota RAV4, you will feel at home inside the bZ4X. Now, you would notice one of the more controversial aspects about the interior would be the gauge cluster, because instead of putting a heads-up display, Toyota decided to go do something bananas and put the entire digital gauge cluster above the steering wheel. Now, I read foreign reviews and said that it does block the view. Not in my case. I mean, I sit at 170 cm and I'm a bit pudgy, admittedly, but for me, I don't find any of the layout being obscured by the steering wheel. But if you are a bit taller or shorter, I suggest you take a look at your nearest Toyota BEV dealer to find out if the steering wheel and the gauge cluster set is for you. Now, one thing I like about the gauge cluster is not just the design, but the amount of information that Toyota was able to cram in it. Aside from things like your consumption, your range, it even displays the health of your battery. So there's no more second guessing whether your car has 80% battery life or 100%, because dig through the menus and you will find it. So imagine if you're buying a bZ4X used or trying to sell it in the future, it's right here in black and white and it'll show you exactly the health of your battery. Again, it's all about Toyota giving you the peace of mind even in the long run. Other features you find would be the twin wireless chargers right here, which can power your devices. Of course, if you prefer USB connections, they're right here at the bottom. Now, another controversial aspect, and Toyota doesn't seem to have an answer for it, except it was done out of design. It doesn't have any glove box. So you're probably thinking, where will I put all my knickknacks and stuff and RFID cards and all that? Well, you got to put it here, because this one is actually very nifty because it's a dual hinged center console. You can open it this way if your significant other or passenger would like to put stuff out, or if you like to put stuff out on your own, it opens this way. So let's talk about features. I did mention some of them already, like the wireless charger and the big infotainment screen, but of course, Being a Toyota, people are saying Toyota tends to be conservative with regards to features. But get this made in Japan. I will emphasize that, made in Japan battery electric vehicle priced at 2.699 million pesos is fully equipped. You get power seats for the front, heated and ventilated. There's even a memory setting for the driver. It's got an 8-speaker sound system, a panoramic sunroof. It's got ambient lighting as well. I mean, with the exception of the glove box, you get everything else. At the back seat, which I will take you later to look at the space, it even has heating for the rear seats and of course USB ports for everyone. Again, it's all about Toyota saying we've priced it right, we spec'd it right, and I will discuss in a bit more about its ownership experience as well. But overall, I would have to say that the bZ4X is a well thought of crossover. So now that we've done our tour of the front, I'm gonna take you to the back seat. Now that we're in the back seat and I did show you or tell you about the features at the rear, okay, I'm gonna show you the space. Because this is built off a dedicated battery electric platform built in collaboration between Japanese companies. Take note, Japanese companies like Subaru, Lexus, and Toyota. There's a lot of space right here. There's no shortage of it, and given that this is my driving position, as you can see, 3 people or 3 adults can fit here, no problem. The seat backs can also be reclined for those who want a bit more comfort, and there's even a center armrest as well. Overall, it's a great family car, but if there's a bit of a problem, I'm gonna show you how it looks like at the trunk. Now, before we get to what I think would be the bZ4X's greatest weakness, I'd like to point out that there are 2 cameras right here. Why is that? Well, one is actually a backup camera because there's a 360-degree camera. The other one is connected to the smart rear view mirror. So for at night, it just projects images. So it's great if there are people seated at the back and you have a lot of cargo. And speaking about the cargo, you'll have to use all of it because, ta-da! This is actually its spare tire. Now, Toyota says this is all about compliance because right here, the LTO will require a spare tire. As you can see, it does eat up a lot of the trunk space. So if you put a lot of balikbayan boxes in here, that's gonna be a bit of a problem. But don't worry, because this one's removable. So if you don't plan to use the bZ4X for a long drive, I would suggest just to leave this at home, or as Nick's actually suggested, just bring an air compressor which will actually fit underneath here, because there's a, instead of having the air inflator and all that, there's actually a cubby hole right deep in here. A battery electric vehicle imbued with Toyota's quality, durability, and reliability? Well, sign me up, because I would have to say that the bZ4X is a great first effort from Toyota. They certainly took their time in bringing this here to the Philippine market, but it's worth the wait. This will probably change the game, not just because you have a great product, but because you can also rely on great after-sales service, and that is something that Toyota is always known for. Now, for those of you who are curious about the running cost of the bZ4X, well, it comes not just with a portable charger, a wall box charger with free installation, but they are also throwing in a once-a-year PMS. So, easy on the pocket, easy on the maintenance, and of course, at the end of the day, it's a Toyota.